Hey, what's up guys, this is Vimal here and welcome back to TRHD. Today's video is gonna be super awesome because I'm back with another new gaming PC build, and this time I'll be making a budget PC for you guys. A lot of my subscribers were asking me to make a video on a gaming PC build in the price range of around 40 to 50,000, and well, here it is. I've got all the required components to make this budget build happen. Now in today's build, I'll be focusing more on performance rather than RGB looks to keep the cost minimum. Alright, let's get started with the video. So these are the components I'll be using in today's budget build. Now with this gaming PC you can play games like PUBG in 1080p Full HD with very good frame rates. So before I get started, I want to thank Cooler Master and Asus for sending me their products to make this build possible. Okay, so let me show you all the components starting with the processor. The CPU we'll be using today is AMD's new Ryzen 5 2400G. It's a great CPU on a budget and comes with Radeon RX Vega 11 graphics. It offers excellent performance for the price. The 2400G is a 4-core 8-thread CPU, has a base clock frequency of 3.6 GHz and a max boost clock frequency of 3.9 GHz. So the processor comes in this sort of box packing just like the other Ryzen 2nd gen CPUs. Let me just unbox it and show you the processor. So here it is, the Ryzen 5 2400G. It comes packed in this tiny box. Very nice, and along with that you also get a heatsink fan pre-included in the box. We'll be using that pre-included stock cooler only in this build because you don't need any special air or liquid cooler in this price point. It's not that necessary. Coming to the motherboard, I'll be using Gigabyte's AB350N Gaming Wi-Fi MOBO. Now this is a great motherboard on a budget. It's got almost all the features you would need. It has an AM4 socket, dual RAM slots, USB 3.1 Gen 2 ports, has built-in dual-band Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 4.2 support, and also has multi-zone RGB LED lighting which is fully customizable with the RGB Fusion software. The AB350N is a mini ITX motherboard that is perfect for this build, and this is how it looks like. Looks really small and cute, right? Love the red accents on it, gives a gaming feel to the board. Next up is the graphic card. Oh yes, we will definitely be using a dedicated graphics card for this build. The graphics card I'll be using is Asus Strix GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. Now this GPU is very ideal for budget builds and offers excellent 1080p gaming experience. It even has a special overclock mode to boost gaming performance to the max. The Strix 1050 Ti has a patented dual fan 0dB wing blade design for 30% cooler and 3x quieter performance, and also has RGB LED lighting on it which can be fully synchronized and controlled using the Aura Sync software. This is the OC edition and comes with 4 GB of GDDR5 memory. Love the build quality and the circuit-like patterns on the body. I'll tell you about the pricing details of all these components at the end of this video. Talking about the RAM I'll be using today is G.Skill Sniper X DDR4. Now these are some beautiful and high performance RAM sticks clocked at 3600 MHz, and yes, they do support Intel XMP2 profile. Now actually I wanted to go with a little bit cheaper RAM sticks, but I couldn't get them on time, so I had no choice but to use this. Each of these is an 8GB RAM stick, but I'll be using only one of them because 8GB RAM is more than enough for this build. Also one more thing is, I would suggest you guys to get 2 4GB RAM sticks instead of one 8GB RAM stick because this MOBO supports dual channel RAM and offers better performance and faster access to memory when compared to using a single channel RAM. So this is how the Sniper X looks like. Love the camo design on the body. Now talking about the memory, I'll be using all SSDs in this build. Usually SSDs are quite expensive in India, but thankfully I found a very affordable one in a Chinese website. It's a 350GB SATA 3 high-speed SSD made by a company called Vasky and costed me only $45, which is around 3,100 rupees. Now that's a deal breaker guys, because in India a 240GB SSD itself costs around 3,500 rupees. I've already tested this SSD, it's performing really well, has a read and write speed of around 550 Mbps. If you guys are interested in buying it, I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. The power supply I'll be using is from Cooler Master. The model is MWE450. It's a 450 watt 80 plus rated power supply. A 450 watt power supply is more than enough for this build. It can easily handle the load. Let me unbox it and show you how it looks like. So here it is, the MWE450. It's a regular budget PSU, not modular, and comes with a 120mm durable and a silent fan on the inside. And finally, coming to the cabinet, we'll be using this Cooler Master Super Budget Masterbox E300L. It's a very simple and a budget-friendly PC case. Comes with a brushed front panel, lot of air vents, and different trim color options. The reason I chose this cabinet is I didn't want it to waste my money on the looks. It's a simple yet decent looking case for the price. It has an all metal body with some plastic parts on the front and has a control panel at the top. You've got a power button, reset, headphone, mic port, and also two USB 3.0 ports. Now that is really awesome. So these are all the components we'll be using in today's budget gaming PC build. Now let's get started with the assembling. I'll be showing you how to build this PC step by step, so watch this video till the end, especially if you're a beginner. The first thing you need to do is install the processor on the motherboard. It's a very easy thing to do, guys. The AB350N motherboard has an AM4 socket and is made specially for the Ryzen CPUs. So first lift this lever here, then take the processor. Before placing it on the socket, always make sure that the direction of the gold triangle mark on the CPU matches with the engraved triangle on the socket. After that, just slowly drop the CPU in the socket, and it should sit there perfectly. Now pull down the lever to lock the CPU in its place. And that's it, guys, we're done with the installation of the processor. In the next step, we need to install the CPU cooler. We'll be using the stock cooler from AMD that we get free along with the CPU. Now installing this cooler is super easy. You just need to check the alignment of the screws, place it on top of the CPU and tighten up the screws. But guys, don't forget to apply some thermal paste before fixing it. The reason I didn't apply here is the stock cooler already comes with some pre-applied thermal paste on the bottom side. So tighten up all the 4 screws on it just like this. That's it, we're done with the installation of the cooler also. Now we need to install the RAM sticks. If you're going with dual channel setup, install the RAM sticks in both the slots. Otherwise, install it in the slot that is numbered as 1 or primary. Installation process is also very easy. All you need to do is open this lever, then take the RAM stick, place it in the slot and push it gently until the lever locks itself. That's it, we've installed our RAM successfully on the Mobo. Now it's time to place the motherboard in the cabinet. But before we do that, we need to install this IO shield at the backside. Just for your info, not all motherboards come with separate IO shields. Some expensive ones come pre-installed on the board itself. To fix this IO shield, just place it in the slot and push it hardly so it fixes there firmly. Now we are ready to place the motherboard. The E300L cabinet is quite spacious, but it only supports either micro ATX or mini ITX motherboards. This one fits perfectly in the case. Align the Mobo properly so that all the holes on the motherboard match with the screw holes on the cabinet. After that, just take some screws that you get with your cabinet and start fixing the motherboard. You have around 6 to 8 screws, go in a zigzag manner and don't over tighten the screws. So fixing the motherboard was successful. It's time for the power supply to go in. The power supply goes at the top portion of the cabinet. There are no covers or PSU shroud because it's a simple budget case. Just place a power supply here and fix it to the case with the help of some screws. Next up on the list is the SSD. I'll be fixing this SSD in this bracket over here. This cabinet can store up to 3 2.5-inch SSDs and 2 3.5-inch HDDs. Fixing the SSDs is also very simple. Just place it over here on the drive bay and fix it with the help of some screws. After that, you need to connect all the power supply cables. So I've connected almost all the cables and the final step you need to do is fixing the GPU. Now there is only one PCI slot on this motherboard and that is where you will be installing this GPU. In case you've got more than one PCI slots, install the GPU in the PCI slot closest to the CPU. Just open the lever, put the GPU in the slot and push it gently until the lever locks itself. There you go, our GPU has also been successfully installed. Now take some screws and mount the GPU to the body to finish the installation process. So that's it, we're completely done with the assembling part. The only thing left to do is connecting all your cables. I've already done that and neatly organized everything in my PC. I'll just tell you where you need to connect all the cables on the motherboard. The first thing you need to connect is this 24-pin ATX power cable to the motherboard. Then connect the 8-pin CPU power cable to the CPU socket over here. Now to give power to the GPU, connect one PCIe power cable to the 1050 Ti. After that, connect a power cable to the SSD and a SATA cable from the SSD to the motherboard. We are almost done with all the major components. The only few things left to connect are the CPU fans and the front panel connectors, which include USB 3.0, audio cable, power and reset. That's it, guys, we are done with all the wiring part. Now just for a final touch up, use some cable ties or straps and neatly organize all the cables to give a decent and clean look to your PC, just like how I did in the video. So this is how our final budget PC build looks like. The only thing left to do is install an OS and boot up the PC. Alright, let's power it on and see if it boots up. Whoa guys, there you go, our budget beast has powered on, and just look at those RGB lights. Not bad, the Mobo has beautiful RGB lighting effects which can be synced with the other components and fully controlled using RGB Fusion. And the Strix 1050 Ti also has an RGB illuminated ROG logo. Just have a look at the PC. And this is a full setup I'll be using for today's budget build. The monitor I'm using is a 24-inch Full HD IPS monitor from LG, and the RGB keyboard and mouse are from Cooler Master. I'll leave all the links to these products in the description box below. You can refer there for the model numbers. Now let's check out the benchmarks and talk about the performance. On Geekbench 4, it got a single core score of 4014 and a multi-core score of around 11450, which is pretty decent for the price. And the 1050 Ti got an OpenCL score of around 90,000. This build can easily handle most of your games at Full HD 1080p resolution. So let's jump into the gaming section and see how it performs. First, let's start with Battlefield 1. I'll be playing all these games with my Xbox controller. Now, Battlefield 1 is a AAA title graphic intensive game. Let me open the menu and show you the graphic settings that are currently applied. As you can see, the resolution is at 1080p 60Hz and the graphics quality is set to ultra in everything. You guys can keep an eye on the frame rate at the top right corner. So let's play the game and see how this budget PC handles it. Wow, are you guys seeing this? The gameplay feels buttery smooth. There is no sort of lag or stutter anywhere, and the frame rate was easily averaging around 45 to 55 FPS at ultra graphics in 1080p resolution. And also keep in mind, I haven't overclocked anything on this PC. You can overclock the CPU, GPU as well as the RAM to squeeze out every bit of juice to bring out the max performance. I totally didn't expect this budget PC would perform this well. It's performing a lot better than any other laptop in this price range. Just check out this gameplay video so you'll get an idea on the performance. Amazing guys, you'll love the gaming experience on this PC. Now along with Battlefield 1, I've also played PUBG because this is the main game you guys asked me to play. PUBG also runs excellent on this build at 1080p resolution. You can see the frame rates at the top right corner. Let me just open the settings and show you the graphics quality we're currently playing the game in. As you can see, the resolution is 1080p and the graphics are set to high. In high graphics preset, you'll get an average frame rate of above 45 FPS. Let's start the game and see how this PC handles it. I've played this game in different graphic qualities from low to high, but unfortunately I'm sorry guys, due to some technical error, the gameplay videos were not recorded when I was playing in medium and high graphic settings, so I had no choice but to show you only the gameplay recorded in low graphic settings. But don't worry, I'll tell you the average frame rates that I got while playing in medium and high modes. So as you can see, the gameplay felt buttery smooth and was maintaining a constant 60 FPS in low graphics. When the graphics were changed to medium, I was getting an average frame rate of around 50 to 55 FPS. And finally in the high graphics preset, I was getting around 40 to 45 frames per second. This is an amazing budget gaming PC and I'm sure you'll definitely have a great time playing games in 1080p. So that was my video on the best budget gaming PC you can build under 50,000 rupees. Let me summarize all the component prices for you. The Ryzen 5 2400G processor costs 11,500 rupees. The Asus Strix GTX 1050 Ti graphics card costs 14,000 rupees. Gigabyte's AB350 and gaming Wi-Fi motherboard costs 8,500 rupees. The G-Skill Sniper X 8GB RAM costs around 7,000 rupees. And coming to the power supply, the MWE 450 from Cooler Master costs 2,400 rupees. The Vasiki 350GB SSD is priced for 3,150 rupees. And finally, Cooler Master's E300L cabinet costs around 2,900 rupees. So the total price of this budget build comes down to 49,450 rupees. Actually, you guys can save some more money by going for a much cheaper AM4 motherboard by sacrificing the RGB lightings and onboard Wi-Fi. So that was it for today guys, hope you all enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more new awesome videos, and I'll see you in the next one.